Blog Talk Radio.
Warning. What you are about to hear are the views of Travis Pope and the Oklahoma Tomcat and is not supported by the government. Agreeing with the hosts of this show could cause you to be targeted by the government and government agencies. You have been warned.
Good morning, Kansas.
Good morning, Oklahoma.
Hey, a little bit more excitement in that. Let's try it again. Good morning, Kansas.
Good morning, Oklahoma.
You're just not going to do it, are you?
No, I'm not going to do it.
Well, this is a first show that we're doing the day before the actual show date. So just give everybody a little heads up that this show was done yesterday. That way, so any information we're giving, things are going to change a lot.
Yeah, we might the world might end before this show even airs. So anything we say, just ignore.
All right, yeah.
If you're listening to this show and the world has ended, you were left behind.
That would be interesting.
Which I don't believe in that anyways. But anyways. That's another topic for another day.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, man, I got somebody going on Twitter. I was listening to one of a live interview with Larry Sharpe. For those of you that missed our show with him, he's running for governor up there in New York. He's a libertarian. And he brought up something that was very, very good, which I haven't heard before, and that is his plan to get rid of K through 12 and just have K through 10. And his whole idea for that is because the last 2 years of school is pretty much wasted. And I agree with that. I mean, all I did there's one of the things I always found funny is people would quit school at 16, right? You got these people who drop out at 16. And I'm like, why? Why would you do that? You finished the hardest part of school, and you drop out. The 11th and 12th grade for me was nothing. Was 3 periods of auto mechanics through vocational school and photography. The rest of the school day was nothing. Because I had all my credits and everything. So I didn't have to take any other classes, and I didn't. But his whole plan is you go to school until 10th grade, and then let the teenagers from 10th grade make a choice on what they want to do if they want to finish pursuing their education by taking the test to go to college, because you don't have to finish 12th grade to go to college anymore. For those of you that haven't been keeping up, colleges do not take much value in the high school diploma anymore because the study's been done, colleges have done study, and the majority of the kids with a high school diploma, when they go to college, they have to take remedial courses anyway because they're not ready for college. So you could take the test to go through college and go that route. You can go through a vo-tech school, or you could go ahead and start your career. So I'm like, that's great. So I tweeted that out. And apparently not everyone is for it. What do you think of that idea, Travis?
Well, I never seen my senior year of school. I didn't go to one class during my senior year of school. I was on the job program.
Oh, well, see, you pretty much did that.
I had a full-time job. They offered two parts of it. You could either go to school part-time and have a part-time job, or you go to school, or you get a full-time job and you don't see school. And that's what I did. Is I had a full-time job my senior year. It started in my mid-junior year. When I was a junior, I went half a day class and half a day work. And then senior year, I just went full-time work program and got my credits by going to work. All I had to do was take the only thing I had to do was take my weekly schedule, or I was working at Whataburger at the time. I'd just take my 2-week schedule, and my manager would fill out my 2-week schedule, and then she would sign it, and I just took that to the attendance lady in the school every 2 weeks. I would take a new one. And that's how I got through high school.
You pretty much did what Larry Sharpe pretty much wanted to make for everyone.
Yeah,
I mean, except for the whole signing and all that, but
yeah, and I graduated with a high school diploma.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, my senior year, I was a night manager at Whataburger, so I was already in management. By the time I started.
Yeah, and I don't know what his whole idea. I mean, is he going to be? I mean, if he was able to do this, I don't know what the whole plan is as far as high school diploma and all that stuff. Obviously, it would be different than the rest of the country, but that would save a lot of money. Because even though a majority of kids don't even do a half a day of actual schooling in their 11th and 12th grade, you're still spending a lot of money keeping that, for the teachers and the staff and all that. If you could just cut out 2 grades, that would lower the cost on that alone. And that's wasted money.
Yeah.
It really is. It's wasted money. Because, I mean, even if the kid doesn't get out of school early, which I did get out of school early. I didn't have to attend the whole day. But you have a lot of kids who don't get out of school early. They end up just sitting in study hall, which is what my whole afternoon classes were if I did not get out of school early. It would be just all study hall the whole afternoon.
Yeah.
That would be boring. I mean, I would be like, I would go nuts because I did not have nothing. I had no classes that required me to sit in a desk and study. None. Photography is an active class. You know, there is no study hall for that. And same with the auto mechanics I was taking.
Yeah.
So I'd just be sitting there twiddling my thumbs, looking at the teacher.
Well, the school is a waste of money anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And that's the other thing he's wanting to do is when it comes to school is to open up the competition as far as, you know, the alternatives, homeschooling, private schools, and all of that.
Yeah, and here I hate, and here's one of the reasons why I hated one of the things I hate public school, and I still hate public school to this day. And let me tell you, I had a teacher one time. I had fallen asleep in class, and she got on to me about it. She said, and this is her exact words, man, I'm going to tell you my exact reply. She told me, she goes, on my time, you do my work. On your time, you do whatever you want. And I looked right at her, and I said, don't you ever send homework home with me again, because that's my time once I leave this school. And that's true.
Yeah.
You have from 8 a.m. in the morning, sometimes 7 a.m. in the morning, depending on whatever school district you're in, 7 or 8. You have from 7 to 8 to about 3 o'clock in the afternoon to educate me. Don't send homework home with me. Once I leave school, that's my business. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, when me and you get off work, when me and you finish the day, do we keep working?
Nope. Well, not when I get home, I don't. Not this type of work, anyway.
Yeah, well, any job I've ever had, when I got off work, I was done.
Right.
You know,
yeah, that's true.
When I stop this truck, I'll do my final post trip, and then I'm done. I'll normally go in and sit down and relax inside to eat inside, or relax, or I'll come back and I kick back and watch TV. But I'm done. Don't you call me asking me.
Yeah.
Don't call me saying you want. Yeah. But pretty much, and when I go home, I'm done.
Yeah.
And when I was working in manufacturing, once that 5 o'clock buzzer went off, I'm heading straight up there, clocking out, and I'm done.
Yeah, that's where the good example is. Most of your normal jobs, when you leave your job, you're done. Now trucking, it's a little bit different because there's times that, especially if I'm shut down for my 34-hour, I may end up doing stuff around the truck and stuff like that. But I look at trucking like the military. You're really never off work. But
yeah.
But as far as your regular job, as far as a regular job goes, yeah, you're done. I never really understood the homework thing with the kids. What is the purpose of that? I really should ask teachers and stuff. I should ask them that. What is the purpose of that? Because I mean, to study to find out if a kid really gets what they're being taught, you have your quizzes and tests, right?
Yeah.
So what is the purpose of the homework? Number one, you don't really know if the kid got it or understands it by sending it home because, let's face it, you have kids that cheat, okay, and even parents that cheat, all right?
Yeah, you got parents that do the homework for them.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know if the kid really did it themselves, you know, especially today because every kid, or I'll say majority of kids, have what in their bedrooms?
Computers.
Exactly. And what are those computers hooked to?
The wall.
And what's the wall hooked to? No, you've got the internet. So, I mean, you could look up every information out there. So you don't know if the kid is really doing it themselves. You don't know if they really understand it. You're hoping they're being honest, you know, and that they'll, if they're having trouble, they'll come to you and say, "Oh, I couldn't do it because I didn't understand this." But you know, you don't know that. So I don't understand what the whole homework concept really is.
It's torture. It's torture. That's what it is. It's cruel and unusual punishment. Because I'm telling you, when these kids leave school, they're already burnt out from all the work that they've done throughout the day. And then a lot of kids have to go home, do their homework, do their chores, then they can go outside. You know. Well, by then they only get to go outside for about an hour before it's nighttime.
Yeah. But you know what the biggest problem I have with schools, the public school system is, and really even goes further than the public school system, even the private schools and stuff like that. My biggest problem with it, and why I homeschool, is it's an outdated system. And really, even it goes even beyond outdated. It's a system that really doesn't work. Because, I mean, now I'm going beyond my biggest problem, which is the fact that it's controlled by the government. But with that set aside, the whole concept of it, even with the private schools, is the idea that you could take a lot of kids who learn differently, put them into a classroom, and teach them all the same. It's a system that really doesn't work because you're going to have it focuses on this medium. You're going to have a bunch of kids that are going to be left behind because they can't keep up and they don't learn by sitting at a desk with a paper and pen. Then you're going to have a bunch of kids that are going to be left behind because they're too smart, you know, and you're wasting a lot of their time because of the fact you got to focus on the middle, you know, and this is why the system does not work at all. Every kid learns differently. You know, we hear a lot from statists on the Democrat side about, you know, individuality, you know, but their whole system that they set up to educate people ain't based on individuals, you know, and something that's great about the homeschooling is my wife is able to teach our children based on the level our children can learn at. And if they're hands-on, my wife is able to work on that, you know, get them interested in stuff. Like Abigail, she hates math. Oh, she also hates writing. Well, we know that you have to know math. I mean, math is in everything we do. And let me tell you something. When I gotten students, when I was training in trucking, and I got students who could not do math at all, I felt like a school teacher because I'd have to sit there and teach them basic math and geography, you know. But So what my wife is able to do is take the stuff that my daughter is interested in, and since everything has math, she teaches her math through other things, and she does great. Now the writing we do have a little trouble with. It's hard. It's hard somebody interested in writing when they don't like to write. But that's what's so great about teaching one-on-one instead of in a group, because schools can't do that. There's no possible way of doing it.
Yeah. Well, there's something I was doing for a while on the kids, because getting them to read is almost impossible to get them to read.
Mm. Yeah.
So you know what I would do?
What?
They'd rather watch TV, so I'd put the captions on and turn the volume off.
That would irritate me. I've had to do that in certain places, because they'll have a show on, but they have the volume turned off because they didn't want the noise of the TV to take, or whatever, distract from what's going, what other people are doing in that room, and they have those closed captions turned on, and I cannot keep up with that thing. And it takes, I'm either focused on the words or I'm focused on the screen. I can't do both. So I'm missing the movie, just reading. Now my daughter, if it's a book that she's interested in, she reads. In fact, she'll sit there and read for hours. So that there's never a problem there.
Oh, they threw their fits a few times, but in the end, they read pretty good now.
Yeah, but pretty fast too, probably. Because sometimes you have to read pretty quick to catch the whole sentence. I'd be sitting there.
Yeah,
reverse it. I didn't catch that. Hold on. Pause the picture.
or I'll find one of the movies they like watching. I'll find it in another language.
Oh
where I find it in another language, but the captions are in English.
Yeah.
Hey, it gets them to read.
Yeah, I've never knew Mel Gibson knew French and Spanish and all them other languages either.
Yeah.
And we go into other countries, I'd see every once in a while you catch these American movies, except somehow it's in French or Spanish, or I'm like, I never knew they knew those languages.
Yeah. So asshole parent tip number 1. Turn the volume down and turn on captions. Teach your kids to read.
Yep, there you go. Force them into the reading. You want to watch this movie? Read it.
Because that's all movies are, is just nothing but a script, a book. Make them read it.
Well, yeah.
And it's no different than green eggs and ham. All they're gonna do is flip through the pictures. Well, if you want to know what's going on, then you don't have to read. That like I said, that's asshole parent tip number 1.
Yeah, you're a jerk. feel sorry for Junior.
Well, you know what though? Junior can read.
Yeah. Yeah, luckily we didn't have that trouble with Abigail. It's just math. But the last time she was out in the truck, she did very good in math. I was able to help her with how to, because I've never been very good at math myself, believe it or not. I mean, people see me doing, the math out here on the road and everything, and they think I'm a genius at it. But really, I had to struggle hard to do math. So, luckily, that this one of the great things with, our weaknesses is when we're able to overcome our weaknesses, we're able to help other people that have problems, because we can relate to them. Whereas
now you hear
Paula, she has trouble.
You hear everybody, Oklahoma Tomcat saying that he has weaknesses, and I'm over here saying I have.
Because I overcame it.
I don't have any weaknesses.
Well, see, that's why you have trouble, with teaching others. But whereas Paula, for instance, she has trouble with getting Abigail with the math because of the fact that Paula is very good in math and spelling. So, a lot of times my wife will be like, help Abigail with her math. She's having trouble with it.
and that's like me too, because I see something, I can see something, and I can see it from the beginning to the end almost instantly. Okay.
Mhm.
You show me something mechanical, I can figure it out within seconds. You know those little peg boards you find at the restaurants where you put those pegs and you try to leave one. And the goal is to leave one.
Yeah.
My kids handed me one of them one time, and I said, "What, y'all can't do that?" And they go, "No." And I boom, there. I can see it. I can see the end result. And yeah, that gives me problems dealing with people. I'll agree with that, because I'm like, you can't see it? I can see it.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cold time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Hello, libertarian friends and independent thinkers. This is Richard Castaldo for Congress. I want to thank Oklahoma Tomcat and the broadcast for letting me share a little bit about myself. I am running for Congress in Oklahoma's 2nd Congressional District, and I appreciate your consideration. First, let me tell you that I strongly believe in the non-aggression principle, and that philosophy guides everything I would do in politics and Congress, including my voting. And what it means is that I do not believe in or advocate the initiation of force as a means of achieving political or social goals. In other words, consent is everything. If there's no consent, then I'm not going to approve it. My platform includes the elimination of taxpayer funding for abortions, restore and protect the Second Amendment, protect farms and small businesses by eliminating needless regulations and property taxes, abolish federal income tax and propose the fair tax, abolish the IRS and Federal Reserve, protect cryptocurrencies from federal persecution, and restore constitutional ballot access through major reform and abolishment of the Federal Elections Commission, cut government spending and pass balanced budgets, end the war on drugs and the prosecution of victimless crimes, deschedule cannabis completely, maintain and strengthen a strong military, and prioritize our veterans, end global interventionism and unconstitutional wars, eliminate federal restrictions on individual charity, privatize marriage and adult consensual relationships, abolish the Department of Education and privatize Head Start through kindergarten, defend Native American lands from federal interference, protect and reinforce all parental rights, remove government sponsorship of LGBTQ discrimination, and all racism, especially involving law enforcement and federal courts, restore religious and atheist liberty on public property and for businesses, deregulate religious organizations and churches. I think it's so important that we send someone to Congress this year who believes in individual liberty and the Constitution. Just to tell you a little bit more about myself, I was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma in December of 1981 and grew up in Grove in the Grand Lake region. I graduated from Grove Public High School in 2000 and Oklahoma Wesleyan University in 2010. I have traveled to several countries and across the U.S. in ministry, both as a worship leader and a missionary. I've worked in retail and customer service for years, including as a store manager for a local Radio Shack. I'm now a husband and dad, a street pastor with Grand Lake Life, and a political activist dedicated to serving people wherever I see the opportunity. I'm running to represent our Congressional District 2 of Oklahoma in the U.S. House of Representatives because I want to remind Washington, D.C. that your life matters. I am not a politician. I would have no strings attached. I would be a fiercely independent voice for you, the people. I have the principles and courage to stand up against the establishment of both the Democrats and Republicans. I'll work tirelessly to restore your individual freedoms to live, to love, and to worship, or not to worship, the way you choose. As a father of 2 toddlers and native Oklahoman, I am concerned about our future as a society. We are all being crushed by the aggression of government, and it continues to damage our educational opportunities, our criminal justice system, our economy, our health care, the daily living of everyday people. As a proud member of the Libertarian Party of Oklahoma, I believe in a constitutional government that values individual liberty. The other political parties are consistently arguing about which laws they want to burden you with, but that's not the Libertarians. We want limited government and self-responsibility. We want to get rid of over-regulation and too many laws, because that is how freedom thrives. I believe in a federal government that is restrained by the Constitution. I believe in restoring and protecting your full Bill of Rights, from the Second Amendment to the First Amendment to the Fourth Amendment, your rights to privacy. I believe in the power of capitalism. The free markets provide the best opportunity for all of society to succeed. My votes will be made public, and I will be transparent about every decision. My Republican and Democratic opponents, Mark Wayne Mullen and Jason Nichols, will be owned by their political establishments, by the swamp and the lobbyists. But I will not be. Again, I will be fiercely independent. If you are tired of the corruption, if you're tired of the power struggle between Republicans and Democrat politicians who think their lives matter more, and if you're ready for constitutional rights to be restored, please send me to Congress. I humbly ask for your support and your vote on November 6, 2018, and in your early voting. I hope that you will make sure that your voice is heard and that you will share with your friends and family about Castaldo for Congress. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Again, this is Richard Castaldo, and I approve this message. God bless.
Miss Producer is also known as Miss Giggles. You are listening to Political T&T on the Liberty National Network.
All right, welcome back to Political TNT.
Welcome back.
Well, one of the things we got here is
beer.
No beer.
No beer.
Apparently, we have chemicals being delivered into our government again. Do you remember I forget who was president at the time, but you had the envelopes with anthrax being sent into government officials.
Yeah, well, I think it was
that was under Bush, was it,
Obama.
or
it was
or
Obama.
was Obama? Okay. Yeah, well, apparently you got something like that going on again. 2 envelopes were sent to the Pentagon, which tested positive for ricin. This happened on Monday.
Oh, well, you heard what happened today, didn't you?
Yeah, yep. Oh, today? No.
Yeah, it was just broke. They found there was a mysterious white powdery substance on a package that was sent to Ted Cruz.
No, didn't Ted Cruz also have what was it, a bomb threat or I thought I saw where the package was sent to him also or something like that. I think it was his office.
Yeah, it was sent to his office today. It was it had a white substance on it.
Yeah, this one that one I didn't hear about. I haven't heard that one yet, but
it just happened. It probably happened about an hour ago. They had it on the news. They had a live going on on Fox News.
Man, so this is going on again. With people. I thought I heard it was either yesterday or the day before that Ted Cruz also that they had to evacuate his office or something like that. But yeah, it looks like we're having people are using the mail again to try to send chemicals to the government. And I thought they found a solution to prevent that from happening. What'd they do? Relax it and everything?
What solution was that?
It was going to go. The mail didn't go directly to the government officials. It had to go through a screening process. In fact, they were telling people if you're going to write to your elected official, back when this happened last time, that it's better to email them because the mail takes extremely long time to get to our government officials because it had to go through a screening process before it got to them. But I'm guessing they relaxed it or something because it's not being screened. Because they have a way of screening all packages and letters and mails to be able to see what's inside, get an idea what's inside of it. If you see something that doesn't contain a letter or has a powder in it. In fact, I see them doing that at border patrols with stuff coming in. It goes through an X-ray. And if there's any powder or anything, they stop it because they suspect drugs,
It's probably sent to them from. It was probably sent to the Pentagon from Canada. You know how they are up in Canada.
But
Justin up there.
But for a while there, when this was happening before, they stopped all mail from going directly to the government officials and went through a mailroom that screened everything. It took a long time. Maybe that's why they suspended it. Stopped it or something, because it was just such an overload to do it. But
who knows, man? Who knows? They probably. It ain't hard for them to find out who's doing this stuff. They've caught everybody that's done it, that's ever done it.
Mhm. It just takes a little while, but yeah, they eventually get narrowed down to where the letters are coming from, and they have all kinds of forensics that they're able to do, and to figure out, at least get it narrowed down, and then eventually catch the guy doing it. But this one here could take Rice, and it'll be interesting to see what Ted Cruz's turns out to be. If it's the same thing, then they definitely got one guy, one person doing it all.
Yeah, they I mean they catch them all the time. So I don't even know why they keep trying.
Yeah. Well, it just shows how much hate these people have. I mean that they're willing to get caught to do it. It's always a person with a crazy eye or something. It's always one of them weirdos.
Yeah, of course. Liberalism is a mental disorder. I mean, I've always said that. And just think, one time in our country's history, we used to lock people up like this and leave them locked up. I'm not saying that's an advocation, but hey.
Yeah.
It worked at one time.
Yeah, now that we let them all run the streets and everything, we got we got this stuff going on. But really, I mean, it does take a different mindset, for somebody even to think of doing something like this. I mean, you're attacking a group of people that has all the resources and power of the world to catch you. You're going to get caught. I mean, think about it. I mean, these guys have, like it or not, these guys have everything at their disposal. And you're using their own system, the mail, to attack them.
Yeah. And what's crazy? And you know what's crazy? They use their own system, but the United States Postal Service kind of helped a lot of these people, anyways, because back whenever just think if we didn't have the sticky stamps anymore on the deal, you still have to lick them. They'd at least have your DNA on file.
There you go. Unless you cheated and used a wet sponge.
Yeah, but only the very intelligent ones would ever do that. And those normally just set bombs off. But
the intelligent ones are the ones of us that was just so disgusted by looking at a paper that has glue on it and has other people's fingerprints all over it.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna get people like, oh, I never thought of that.
So do you call a secretary a glue licker?
Only if she didn't have the sponge.
Only if she doesn't have a sponge.
Yeah.
You find that out by asking her to seal this letter for you. Here, can you seal this for me? And she licks it, call her a glue licker.
Yeah.
You
think about that. It's amazing. We do have quite a few people nowadays that are such germaphobes and stuff like that. And you think about all the stuff we did in the past, and you're like, man, it's amazing we survived. like licking dirty envelopes.
With toxic glue on them. Hey, I wonder if anybody, we blame cancer for a bunch of other stuff.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I wonder if that old glue that used to be on envelopes ever caused any type of cancer.
I doubt it. Which, by the way, you can still get those envelopes.
I imagine they probably changed the glue though by now.
Yeah, they probably did.
Now they got mint. Yeah, they got minty flavored glue.
Minty flavored glue.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. Boy, bunch of kids sitting in the living room licking envelopes. Ooh, this tastes good. But how long do you think it'll take them to catch this guy? Because obviously now it's become a serial thing.
Give them about a week. Yeah, give them about a week, and they'll bust in someone's door, throw them down on the floor, and suicide them.
Suicide them?
Yeah.
They didn't do that to the last guy.
Oh, we got a new administration now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Trump. Yeah, he's probably going to blow him up or something. You know, he's such a warmonger.
He does like to use Moab.
Oh, no. I know what he's going to do. He's going to tie him up to a chair, and he's going to give him a speech as torture.
Oh,
talk about
how great he is. You owe me a Coke.
And make him read his tweets.
Oh God.
I say the guy may last 8 hours before he cracks. Yep, that's what it's going to be. This envelope was sent to Defense Secretary Jim Mattis and Admiral John Richardson, which both of them are Chief of Naval Operations.
Woo! Excuse me.
And they don't have any specifics on it yet, except the fact that it did test positive for ricin.
Man.
And then, as everybody's heard, white powdery substance was sent to Ted Cruz, was it?
Yeah. Let me pull it up real quick.
All right.
I made it. Oh, by the way, I made it. Never mind.
Never mind.
No, just now. First, the story said nothing was of the substance, but now it says 2 hospitalized after exposure to powdery substance at Cruz's Houston campaign office. 2 people have been taken to the hospital after they were exposed to a powdery substance in a piece of mail that was sent to Ted Cruz's Houston campaign office. The mail was sent to the Phoenix Tower office building located, the address. According to HFD, 2 people were taken to the hospital after being exposed to white powdery substance. HFD, Houston Fire Department, later confirmed that all tests were negative for any hazardous substance. Officials say the 9th floor was evacuated and elevators were turned off as a precaution during the investigation. The evacuation order was lifted shortly after 12:30 p.m. The two people taken to the hospital do not work for the Cruz campaign. They probably shot them. Houston police are assisting the FBI with the investigation.
Tested negative.
Yeah. So what my guess is that someone, you know they do them test runs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, before the actual attack occurs.
Yeah, I mean, because what you don't do? Send him baby powder? What the hell is sending him talcum powder for?
Yeah, it could be either a test run or it could be just as a
threat, a warning.
Yeah, pretty much. Having trouble thinking of, when you make an empty threat, just to scare the person.
Yeah.
Because that happened to Ted Cruz before. Let me look that up. I know I saw a story on it, but I didn't really go any further on it. But they've done that with Ted Cruz before, was sending him sending Ted Cruz stuff like that to kind of like do a scare.
Well, I know there was one about a month ago. It says, let's see, courts cleared after bomb threat, police say. Out of court in Austin.
But yeah, people doing stuff like this, it just boggles my mind. Because really, what are you? It goes back to what I said, with this whole false allegations against Kavanaugh deal. What's your end goal? What are you trying to achieve? Because you're not going to achieve nothing except, get everybody looking at you as a creepy person or something like that,
I haven't met a liberal yet that wasn't creepy.
And I'll even expand that to any statist.
Yeah,
but,
that's the reason why we have Oklahoma Tomcat on the show with us, is because while I don't like any of the statists out there, Republican or Democrat, I really, 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 really don't like liberals. I think the world would be better off without them, but that's just me.
Yeah, I kind of go further, and I'm kind of like that with any statist, For me, statism is, out of all the religions, statism is, for me, the most dangerous and worst ever. And, I get these attacks, like I mentioned earlier, on Twitter, with the whole school thing, and it just drives me nuts. I just go off on them because I'm like, that's an obvious status right there.
Yeah. And see, and it's not hard for me to see the truth, okay, of a situation. when I was younger, I thought, and I was talking to somebody about it one time. I said, yeah, if I was president, and I said, do we have time to talk about this, or do I need to wait for the next segment?
Yeah, you better wait because the ticking will start soon. So let me talk to everybody about eating healthy.
No.
No. Yes. Yes. For most people, they're immediately like, no. Because a lot of people, and I have to admit, even I don't know about you, Travis, but even after changing my diet, it's very tempting sometimes when I go in those truck stops. I see the pizza, I see the all this unhealthy stuff that's in these truck stops. Truck drivers really a large problem with eating healthy, But one of the first steps you can take is by filling yourself with healthy. One of the great things is shakes. That's what helps me out a lot. Is the protein. And let me tie this in with a recipe for you guys. I'm going to give away my Oklahoma Tomcat shake. First of all, you get the greens from livepure.com/PTAT. All right, greens is a powder that is sweetened with stevia, which that's great because stevia does not raise the glucose level in your blood. All right, and it's all natural. It is healthy for you, but you don't want too much of it because of the fact that they're also extremely sweet. But it's a plant that you could grow if the environment's good. A lot of it's grown in like tropical areas and stuff like that. But greens from livepure.com/PTAT. Get a protein powder. All right. You want preferably one that does not have added sugar to it. You can also get whatever fruit you want. All right. For me, it's going to be your less sweet fruit like watermelon or something like that. Apples, whatever. Then you take these, you mix them in together. Now, you only use half the protein powder because all the other stuff added to it's going to make it very, very thick if you don't. Also, almond milk. Almond milk you also want to add to it. But if you make that up and you drink it in the morning before you go into the truck stop or whatever, that there is going to help you out a lot with preventing yourself from snacking. This is a secret that I used. Because then when I drank that, and it is very filling, and I went into the truck stops, even though my mind may still say, oh, you want the snack, you want that snack, my stomach said, no, you're full, all right? So go to livepure.com/PTAT. That's Papa Tango Alpha Tango, and check out all of their products. They also have proteins there. They have your healthy water. In fact, they have Earth Water, which we used to advertise on here. As you guys noticed, I don't advertise anymore because of the fact they've switched over to selling through Live Pure. So we do kind of still advertise it through Live Pure. But go to livepure.com and check out their wide variety of healthy foods. And when you buy anything through the website I just gave you, you do get a discount. That is livepure.com. We will be back after these messages.
The Liberty National Network. Where do you want to go to lunch?
I'm having a stroke.
Did you hear what I said?
I'm having a stroke.
Why aren't you answering me?
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear. Look for FAST. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911 immediately. Know the sudden signs. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
You may have doubts about healthcare sharing. I know we did. We studied literature about Samaritan Ministries, but we feared that it was just too risky. Instead, as our health insurance premiums went up each year, we would increase our deductible to reduce the premium. And then the inevitable happened. We had to use our insurance. We had a medical need that included tests, doctor visits, and even outpatient surgery treatment that totaled over $7,000, and it was all out of pocket. It took us 3 years to pay off, even after several of our healthcare providers reduced their charges. And we finally took a leap of faith and joined Samaritan.
Each month, we get to give to an actual person with a medical need. We pray for them and put them in the hands of the Lord for physical, emotional, and financial strength and healing. There's no way to fully express that pleasure and joy. During the first year we were members, we had a medical need, and it was all provided for. And the strength, peace, and healing from prayer.
Last year, our son was injured on a mission trip, 1,200 miles from home. The bills for the emergency room, doctors, stitches, and prescriptions totaled $5,300. But every last cent was provided for. In fact, last year we had 2 more needs, and each time our Samaritan family came through.
I worked in healthcare for 10 years, from front desk through billing. I would recommend Samaritan instead of any insurance product out there. Insurance has no assurances. In fact, it seems everything is written in such a way that there will be no assurance at your time of need. We just wish that we had trusted in God's provisions sooner.
It is such a blessing to come alongside our brothers and sisters in Christ and share in each other's healthcare burdens. And there's such a peace and joy knowing that God is answering our prayers, bringing healing and providing for our needs.
Hi, I'm Devin, a student at Hillsdale College. Here is President of Hillsdale College, Dr. Larry Arnn, on what the founders meant by general welfare.
The great preamble of our Constitution states that the purpose of the document is in part to promote the general welfare. Contrary to the modern understanding of that term, the founders understood welfare to mean public good or happiness. This was understood in accordance with the principles of the Declaration of Independence. Such happiness is contingent on securing to each citizen his natural rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Because this requires the government be limited, the powers of the federal government were enumerated, and local matters were reserved to state authority. This was precisely intended to secure these inalienable rights and in turn promote the general welfare.
This Constitution Minute was brought to you by Hillsdale College. To receive a free pocket Constitution and Declaration, go to constitutionminute.com. On what the founders meant by general welfare.
The Liberty National Network.
Travis Pope may sound like a big bad gorilla, but he is really a soft cuddly teddy bear. You are listening to Political TNT on the Liberty National Network. This is a pre-recorded show and therefore we are unable to take phone calls into the show. But please feel free to comment about the show wherever you see this show posted.
Welcome back to Political TNT. And what was it that you wanted to say there, Travis?
My ADHD caught up, so I forgot.
All right. Well, in that case, let me get on a topic here about.
Well, you could have reminded me what we were talking about.
I don't remember. In fact, I was too busy reading something.
Your ADHD caught up too.
But it'll probably come back to you. One of the things that we experience as libertarians is we support a lot of legalizing stuff, and we're wanting government to get out of a lot of stuff where there's no reason to have a law that where it makes someone a criminal for doing something just because you believe that it's wrong to do. If there's no victim, there's no crime. But one of the things that really, really makes it hard for us, I mean, you were talking earlier about how much you really despise liberals, okay? And liberals does cause a problem. I mean, I just say all statists because Republicans in their own way also create problems. But liberals do cause a problem because there's a lot of things we are on the same side with liberals on, But however, the way they approach stuff, the way they do things, makes it so much more difficult for us libertarians because they go into stupidity mode, whereas we try to make changes by yeah. I mean, Kavanaugh is just one of many things. One day we are going to have to break out our list and go down the list with Kavanaugh. But this other thing is with the legalizing of marijuana. Okay, Travis and I are for legalizing marijuana. There's no reason to have it outlawed because it doesn't harm anyone, except if you believe marijuana is bad, it'll harm the person who's doing it. But in like my case, I don't care if people smoke. I don't care if people do any type of drugs as long as they're not hurting anyone else. If you want to destroy your body, destroy your body. I don't care. Don't expect me to pay for it, but do whatever you want to your body. It's your body, okay? You can either live only a couple of years or you can live a very long and healthy life. That's up to you. But, something happened here that makes me like, I'm on the same page with you guys, but you guys are stupid. And that is a bunch of pot-smoking protesters stormed the P lawmakers' D.C. office. And what was the protest over? Legalizing of marijuana. Things like this really hurt us because these guys act so stupid. You're like, and we want to legalize that for what reason? Here's the story. A group of medical cannabis advocates, and then they say medical, but later on you find out they're really for legalizing all marijuana, tried to force their way Tuesday into the Washington, D.C. office of Republican Representative Andy Harris of Maryland. And what they did is they stormed into the building, and they tried to get into his office, but apparently they had trouble getting in his office because he either blocked the door or he locked it. Oh, no, they did get in. He did have trouble keeping the door closed. They did make their way in. But right there in the building, they lit up the marijuana. you know, people. First of all, this is breaking the entry. I know these buildings. They say it's public buildings and stuff, but that office is. You're not supposed to be just storming your way into the office of these guys. No more than you're to storm into any office of any person. Plus, when you do stuff like that, you do portray yourself as a threat to the person. But yeah, these guys are laying out on the floor. They're smoking their weed right there in the building. Which, even though I'm for legalizing marijuana, I am against people smoking it in front of other people that don't want it in their office or house or whatever. Just like cigarettes, you shouldn't be smoking anything around people who don't want to be around it, especially if their jobs depend on them not having that stuff on them.
You know what though? You're telling me this stuff. I'm hearing you, and all I can think of is that these are people. These are not real marijuana activists, because we were just talking about crazies, man. There's people out there that will do anything they can possibly do to stop a movement. And they will even portray themselves as part of that movement to stop it.
I think they are, I mean, this video, there is a video, which was, by the way, posted by them. I mean, these guys are stoned. They're out of their mind. They're laying on the ground. They're
they'll integrate into a system. They'll smoke the stuff. I mean, I've been around potheads. They don't do that stuff, man.
Oh, I've been around them that they do.
I was raised around them.
Yeah, I mean, I've been around them all my life too. And some do stupid stuff. I mean, you got all kinds out there. It's just like with alcohol. You got your ones that are very calm, very good. Then you got those that will get themselves into trouble. You got the same thing with marijuana. I mean, all drugs have different effects on everyone, and I have been around crazy marijuana users. Some that I avoid at all costs because they'll get you in trouble.
I just don't see why someone would. Whose office did they storm?
It was Maryland Representative Andy Harris.
Okay. These people have bills in front of them in the White House. I mean, in the Senate and Congress to legalize marijuana. Okay, to completely legalize it on the federal level. All right, you do stuff like that, it's hurting you. That's why I'm saying. I don't think it's really potheads that are doing it. I think it's people that are intentionally trying to railroad something, and it might be potheads that are hey, if they legalize this stuff, I'm going to lose my money.
Yeah,
because
I think these
right
guys
now
are
on
just
the on the black market, marijuana is expensive.
Yeah. I think these guys. I mean, just look at the video and how these guys are acting. I think they're just totally. There's a reason why they call it dope. I think these guys are just. They're just troublemakers. Well, I think they are. They're very young, first of all. Very young. And
you know who else? You know who else conservatives call? You know who else conservatives call troublemakers too, don't you?
Who?
Scooby-Doo and their crew. You notice that all the people they were always going against in the Mystery Machine, all the people they was always going against, you troublemaking kids. And come on, everybody. You know they were smoking some stuff.
Well, look at
That's
that band.
That whole show was done, and they always called them, you troublemaking kids.
Well, you know that the Scooby Snacks was laced with something. But that's what this looks like. But one of the things that I'm saying is you have these, and I have to admit, I have to agree with Travis here. A lot of them are Democrats that do the stupid stuff. And I would not doubt 1 minute that none of these kids are libertarian. They're probably all very liberal, and they're hurting the cause. They really are, because people see this type of stuff and they're like, why do we want to legalize this? And like Travis said, this just hang in there, people. Just keep on writing your elected leaders. Give them a call. If you're elected leader, I don't know where Andy is standing. If these kids, I'm going to assume that these kids are at least smart enough to know, okay, Andy isn't for legalizing it. But if he isn't, just give him a call. Let's do this civilly. Don't be ramming people's office. Don't be smoking in the office. Though that's bad. I mean that's really bad, because that's going to get people to think of something else. What do we do in in offices and stuff like that? Yeah, which that's an easy solution, but you're going to give ammunition to our enemy.
Yeah, you should have just
stop
you
it.
should have just vaped. You should have just vaped your cannabis instead of smoking it.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That is irritating.
Yeah, because you're doing more damage than you are good when you do stupid stuff, especially with the movement like it's going like now. I mean, all these states that have legalized it, okay? I think, let me pull it up, since I got my computer up now. Even our governor has mentioned decriminalizing it now.
I have a feeling Texas, what they were probably doing is waiting to see where it goes on the federal level. But yeah, hang in there, guys. Direct to your elected officials. Keep making the argument. Use your voice. Don't use violence. Don't be destroying things.
Don't make
because
yourself
you're
a thorn
hurting.
in the flesh.
Yeah, because you're really hurting your cause more than you're helping it. Here's a funny story, Travis. I posted this on my page, I believe yesterday or day before yesterday. A Uber driver was picked up a passenger at a bar, The passenger was too drunk to drive, so tender and someone else helped the passenger into the Uber car, and the driver went down the road, and a pickup truck came up right on the Uber's tail with his high beams on, comes around him, and cuts him off, and then stops the truck to stop the Uber driver. The pickup truck driver gets out of his truck and walks towards the Uber driver with something in his hands. He says, "You know I have a gun. Do you want me to shoot you?" And he raises his arm to point the object at the Uber driver. When the guy gets up to the door of the Uber driver shoots him one time in the chest. Then the pickup truck driver is dead. When the Uber driver gets out, he kicks the object away from the pickup truck driver to find. Now, this has, by the way, I should add, this is all happening at night. All right. He kicks the object away from the pickup truck driver, and it's his cell phone. And the Uber driver attempts to do CPR, but the guy's dead. Now, what happened is they got the driver of the pickup thought that it was his friend in the Uber car. They apparently were at the bar and they were having a fight, and he thought she got into that Uber car. And it turned out it wasn't her that was in the car. It was another female. And he made all this known because he was texting back and forth to her. And so the police were able to get those text messages to find out what his whole intent was, which was he was going to F up the Uber driver. Turns out the Uber driver just graduated police academy. so he was a police officer. He used that cell phone. I watched the video. He used the cell phone, and when it did look like a gun that he had in his hands. It was night, all you saw was something that was looked metallic in his hand, and when he raised it up just like a gun. Here's a little something for hotheads to think about. Don't bring a cell phone to a gunfight. It ain't gonna look good for you. And I watched and in fact, this is the video I posted on my. Those of you who go to Oklahoma Tomcat on Facebook, that I do have the video up. One of the great things I loved about the video is the police officer, the police officer, which was giving the press conference on the whole ordeal. This police officer was great. I loved him. I mean, he was great because he was very, very, very blunt. And he was basically telling everyone, mess with people. Don't mess with people. They may have a gun and they'll shoot you. Dead. I was like, this guy's great. He did not feel sorry at all for that pickup truck driver. He did not feel one bit of sympathy for him. In fact, he even called him I think it was jerk or something like that. He idiot. Because of what he did. I mean, that was a very, very bad mistake he made. And what happened, this is part of disorder, that I keep talking about. People get outraged over everything, and they don't think. I mean, I know, Travis, you would have done the same thing. I would have done the same thing. That guy cuts you off in an aggressive manner, gets out of it, storms out of his truck, walking towards you and said, and I mean the key words he said, "You know I have a gun. Do you want me to shoot you?" And then he raised his hand that way. You're dead. That was a very, very bad move, and he didn't even have a gun. He was trying to intimidate.
Yeah, that wouldn't have worked for me.
No, I mean it wouldn't work for me. No, I'm Travis will tell you, I'm not one to quick, you know, get into a fight or anything like that. I'm not. I always reserve, you know, myself back from physical confrontations. But yeah, you threaten like that, you're gonna get yourself shot. You know, and this Uber driver, you know, another thing to think about with these Uber drivers. Now, I mean, Uber does have a no-gun policy, so, you know, there's a good chance he's probably not driving anymore, but that don't matter for him because he's a police officer. But the thing to think about, too, and this is why I'm really against, you know, that policy of no guns. That Uber driver had someone else to think about, too, and that's the passenger of that vehicle. So, I mean, he wasn't just protecting himself. He also has to look out for that passenger, which is drunk. In fact, the passenger was, after the gunshot, you heard the passenger say, "Oh, my God," you know. But from the report, the passenger really didn't understand what all was going on. You know, the passenger was oblivious to everything up to the gunshot. I mean, that Uber driver did a great job. One shot, boom, that guy was out. And he went above and beyond. And this is something that, you know, you really got to be think twice about. After he shot the guy, he rendered CPR on the guy. The guy didn't make it. The reason you got to watch out for that, people, if you decide to do that, is if that guy does recover and you're up close like that, you do take a risk of being attacked. But this guy was a police officer. He was trained in all that. So he went above and beyond because most people wouldn't have rendered CPR. I mean, you got to think, do you really want that guy to come back? But yeah, I saw that and I was like, wow, you know, what are you this is Florida, by the way, stand your ground. So this was all a classic stand your ground thing. Florida, like Oklahoma and Texas, you know, you got to watch out when you're going to be, you know, go up to someone and try to start trouble like that because, yeah, the person might be armed.
And if I'm in my truck and I can't get a hold of whatever I need to get a hold of, I'm going to run you over.
Yeah. I mean, to tell you the truth, something like that, I would have more than likely made an escape with my vehicle, you know, rather than let him walk up like that. But then, you know, again, you got
I got 18 wheels, and you're going to fill every one of them.
Yeah, you and I do have an advantage in, you know, our vehicle. But actually, you know, thinking twice about it, he probably did do the best thing because if he would have turned around and or made an escape out of there with the vehicle, it probably would have resulted in a chase because this guy was, I mean, think about it. He thought that the girl in that Uber car was his girlfriend, you know, and he's been stalking her and stuff like that, so he was dangerous anyway. Yeah, I recommend everybody take a look at that. I mean, it's just so amazing. It was a dash cam video to give everybody, because one of the reporters asked, did he have a gun on him? And the officer was like, no. But let me show you guys this video, and you'll see why it looked like he did, you know, and he showed the video, and sure enough, it did look like a gun, the way he was holding the cell phone. and the way he pointed it. The intimidation tactic. Speaking of intimidation,
you know what? If you act like I was at a truck stop one time, and this is one of the reasons why I started carrying. I was at a truck stop one time, and this guy had been sitting in front of me for 30 minutes. I couldn't back up. It was just a big mess at the truck stop. So I walked up to the guy, and I knocked on his door, and he looked down at me, and I said, "Hey, man, can you move up out of the way so we can get this line moving?" I was being respectful, and he brandishes his weapon. He flashes his pistol at me, and I put my hand up, and I said, "All right." I said, "No problem," and I walked off. As soon as I walked off, I called the police because that's illegal to do.
Mhm. Yep.
He was gone. He was gone before the police got there.
Yeah.
But there was no need for him to do that. If I happened to be carrying at the time, and he done that because he opened his door, it would have been over for him.
Yeah, and that we gotta go on break. But before we go on break, let me tell you guys about Truckers Dash Defense. Speaking on, with Travis bringing that up, and
wow,
with us bringing this whole thing. I know. I looked down. I was like, "Oh shoot!" I was just about to get on something else, and I looked at that time. But Truckers Dash Defense, people, as you're hearing right here, right now, there are crazy people out there. Very, very crazy people. We get triggered. So I'm hearing this a lot on a lot of different shows I listen to every day. People get triggered over the stupidest things. And I mean by triggered, I mean angry triggered to where they are wanting to do violence. We see, people even sending ricin to the government. This is how crazy things are getting out there, and even out in the country. Where I live, you gotta watch out. Okay, and that's why both Travis and I carry tasers, because we're not able to carry a gun out here traveling cross country. We could in certain states, but every state has different laws. It's really a hassle. And then when you get into states where you're not allowed to carry it, well, then why you even have it? You can't use it. So, one of the things we found to be the best is tasers, because a taser, you're able to protect yourself at a distance, keep the crazy away from you, and knock them out to where they're no threat on you until
and they're
police arrive.
whooping that butt.
Yeah. No. But so I recommend everybody go to Truckers, their line of self-defense items. They got more than just tasers also. Check them all out. Check out the prices. And even if you're not a truck driver, I highly recommend that everyone, if you're legally able to have a taser. And even to buy one as a gift for a loved one. That may be going to college or that's going jogging. I told a story last time about a jogger that got stabbed to death. And so it's a crazy world. Protect yourself. It's your right. It's your right to protect yourself. Truckers-defense.com. Go there, check them out, talk to them, and stay safe. We'll be back after these commercial breaks.
The Liberty National Network.
Last night we put on an epic light show.
Yeah, we did.
The crowd loved us. We love the crowd.
Wait, but there were only 4 people out there.
Yeah, but did you see their 4 faces? All 8 of their eyes lit up brighter than ours. And we're fireflies.
Yeah, we are.
Hey, that one girl, she looked like she'd never seen glow-in-the-dark like this before, and we invented glow-in-the-dark.
Yeah, we invented it.
And we're going to be out here every night rocking out our light show at a forest near you.
Woohoo!
So come check us out.
Check us out.
And bring your kid, all ages show. Oh, but don't bring any of those glass jars, because they make us kind of nervous.
Yeah, and I'm super claustrophobic.
Whether you're rocking their world or they're rocking yours, some memories never fade. Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you and discover other cool things to do when you go, like fishing, biking, or even camping. Visit discovertheforest.org.
See you later!
Yeah, see you soon.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
I'm a golfer and an avid golf fan. Jack Nicklaus, Lee Trevino, Gary Player, Johnny Miller, and Tom Watson were golfers from the 60s and 70s who greatly inspired me, but the one I admired most was Arnold Palmer. Palmer was an aggressive, go-for-broke golfer. His popularity produced a legion of fans known as Arnie's Army. They held Palmer in such high regard that they named him the King. This honor was bestowed not only because of Palmer's prowess on the golf course, but, and I would add more importantly, because of his kindness and generosity toward others. Throughout his life, Arnold Palmer not only gave full effort to his sport, he gave generously of himself to the people who crossed his path. It didn't matter how busy or tired he was. It didn't matter how famous he became or who the person was in front of him. He was known to always be kind and generous. Palmer's example reminds us that no matter who we are, the most precious gift we can give is our time and our attention. In other words, ourselves. We share the present of our presence as we follow the ultimate gift giver, Jesus Christ. What is the greatest gift Jesus gives us? Himself. In John 6, he told his disciples, "I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty." Sadly, when Arnold Palmer passed in 2016, we lost his loving presence. Like Palmer, Jesus experienced death, but 3 days later, he rose from the grave. Through his resurrection, we have an inexhaustible supply of the bread of life. Even now, Jesus is seated at the Father's right hand. He continues to share his love and life with us. One way we remind ourselves of his generous sacrifice for us is through communion. At the table, we receive the bread of life and the fruit of the vine. We remember that Jesus sustains us and satisfies our thirsty souls. And there's more. Jesus also comes to us by the Spirit day in and day out. Do we sense his presence and rejoice in it as we pray and study his word? Do we hear his voice and follow it as we walk and talk with him throughout the day? My prayer is that we will. This is Greg Williams, speaking of life.
Hi, I'm Stephen, a student at Hillsdale College. Here is President of Hillsdale College, Dr. Larry Arnn, on the enduring importance of federalism.
Many in Washington today have grown so accustomed to centralized bureaucracy that they think of federalism as old-fashioned, kind of like fife and drum music. Those who wrote the Constitution saw federalism as a vital principle of free government in a large republic. The division of power between the federal government, state governments, and local governments would serve as an important protection against tyranny. The founders also understood that while the federal government is essential for national matters like foreign policy and defense, governments closer to the people were far better suited to oversee local matters. As we see in the problems that result from centralized bureaucracy today, there's nothing out of date about the founders' argument for federalism.
This Constitution Minute was brought to you by Hillsdale College. To receive a free pocket Constitution and declaration, go to constitutionminute.com.
The Oklahoma Tomcat thinks he is a big bad cat, but he is really as harmless as a kitten. You are listening to the Political TNT on the Liberty National Network. This is a pre-recorded show, so we are unable to accept phone calls into the studio. But please feel free to comment on the show wherever you see this show posted.
All right, welcome back to Political TNT, and do feel free to comment on the show in wherever you see it posted. Wherever I post this show or Travis posts a show, we are monitoring those comments, and we do read them, reply to them, and your comment may end up on the show. As you guys hear, sometimes we do take things that are happening on social network, and we do make it part of our show. And that's one of the things I'm going to bring up. Is have you heard, Travis, that now they're asking for Kavanaugh to do the lie detector test?
I have not heard that part.
Yeah, not the officials or anything like that, but there's an outcry for him to take a lie detector test, and that's why I posted what I did this morning about the lie detector test, is because we've gotten, our society has really gotten dumbed down. It really has. We don't even, as society as a whole, of course, Travis and I, we're exceptions to the rule here. But people do not study or question anything that they hear, especially when it comes to government or what they see in the movies. We hear about the lie detector test, or also known as the polygraph test. We see it in the movies so much. And society has gotten into this mentality that this is some kind of miracle scientific tool that is able to detect if someone lies or not. And it isn't, people. It isn't. And anyone who's been in the military should already know this. Anyone who's worked or has anything to do with law enforcement should already know this. And that is, those machines do not detect if someone's telling a lie or a truth. It doesn't. It has nothing to do with that whatsoever. It's not even a scientific tool. It's an interrogation tool is what it is. And here's how it works, people. First of all, the whole concept of the lie detector is not to find out if the person is telling the truth through the machine. All right? That's not the idea behind it. The idea behind it, the whole theory behind it, is that the person is going to become so intimidated and have so much fear session out of them. Because those lie detector tests are not used in court. They can't be. It's not scientific, and it's not. It's been studied many, many, many times, and it's not accurate. All right. A person who is able to keep themselves calm while being interrogated can beat that system. Okay, because what those machines are doing, they're getting your heartbeat, your sweating, and your pulse, and your breathing, and they're using that in this theory, and it's only a theory, that a person who lies will sweat more, will breathe, their breathing will become irregular, and their pulse rate will go up. But it's not a good theory. I know people who crumble under every little thing, and so you just bring them in there, and the guy starts asking the questions. They're going to go off the Richter scale, and especially if those questions, because I mean they do like a bunch of general questions to get your what your pulse rate and all that's doing normally under those circumstances. But, you start getting into certain questions, the way it's worded. You could be an innocent person, and that thing will go off the Richter scale just because you start getting all nervous and everything. And likewise, a person who knows how to control themselves while being interrogated, they'll show that they're innocent. And I got named to prove that. Gary Ridgway. Gary Ridgway was a serial killer. And, I mean, he went on a killing spree. They caught him, put him to, they didn't have proof that was him or anything, had him do the lie detector test. He passed it. I mean, that thing was just, I mean, he was an angel. And he continued to go on his killing spree. How did he pass it? Meditation. It's real simple. Controlling yourself while being interrogated. Controlling your breathing. Controlling your heart rate. Controlling your, remaining calm. Through the whole thing. That's how he did it. Then he passed it. I mean, he was as calm as a cucumber on that chair. And then finally they did find out it was him. And they found out how he was able to pass it. So, again, it goes back to this, people. What's the end game? A lie detector test is not going to prove innocence or guilt in this. Both people passed it.
What was his name? What was his name again?
Gary Ridgway. Yep, and I invite everybody to look him up because, I mean, it's a very interesting story, and he's not the only one. There are lots of, I mean, this is not an uncommon thing for people to do. I mean, you can actually study how to control your, I mean, anyone can really do this, on how to control your body under pressure. It's mind over matter is what it is. And it's very, very easy to do. I know how to do it. All right? It takes nothing at all to do it. The other thing that also throws lie detector tests out is there are people, and I'm sure everyone knows at least one person that is like this. They lie so much that they believe their lies. That there will throw the lie detector test off. If you believe it, you're not, huh?
Serial liars.
Yeah, yep, serial liars, yep. And again, people can do. I mean, you can convince yourself of a lie, and when you do that, it throws the machine off because your body is not going to react as if you're telling a lie. And like I said before, the other thing that throws these lie detectors off is if people get nervous real easily. Another thing is the person asking the question. Because if the person asking the question either words the question in a way where it feels like you're being pressured or interrogated, or the question is, in a very aggressive way, that will also throw the machine off because the person being interrogated will get nervous. And it'll show that they're lying. And this is all the reason why the lie detector test is not used in courts, because it is not a scientific machine. It's nothing more than an interrogation machine. Democrats, you guys are for these lie detector tests and against waterboarding? Where's the consistency of that?
Hey.
Yeah.
Leave Kavanaugh with me for about a week, and I'll find out if he did it. Just give me some, give me a towel and a bucket of water, and I'll find out.
You'll waterboard him, huh?
Yeah.
You'll almost as oh man, I should have looked up her name. There was a congressman that said they're almost drowning. Almost drowning.
They're almost drowning. We need to get that audio clip. Almost drowning.
Yeah. We'll have to dig that up. But it'd be funny. You go, oh, you're almost drowning me. How do you almost drown someone? That was a stupid comp. That's almost as bad as the an island tipping over when you got too many people on one side of it.
Yeah.
Guam. And these people went to college. You believe that?
Yeah.
But seriously, people, with the and what do you think about Trump being actually going with this FBI investigation for the 1 week?
I don't know. I think, well, it don't really matter. I think it's going to backfire on him. Actually, I don't think it will backfire on him. I think he is playing one of his 3D chess again. He's thinking that by doing this will fire up, because he's out there right now firing up his base again over this. So
yeah,
I think by doing it like this, by putting it off, gives him more time to rant and rave about the liberals doing this, because there ain't nothing there. I mean, come on.
No, there isn't.
But during this time, it's going to give and it's going to be Friday. They're going to confirm him Friday. If it, this is what I already hear right now. Okay, the FBI is going to come back and they'll say that they're going to corroborate the investigation of the Senate Judicial Committee. They're going to corroborate their findings with them and say there ain't nothing here. It's beating a dead horse. Okay, nothing here.
Mm.
The liberals are going to come out and say, well, this ain't right. They'll complain about the investigation. Okay. And here's what I'm going to say, okay? For the last couple of weeks, I've been seeing post after post about the FBI statistics on false allegations. Women and liberals and feminists keep giving me that same FBI link. Only 1% of the allegations turn out to be false, and they keep giving the FBI statistics on it.
Yeah, I've seen
and
it
now
too.
when the FBI come back Friday and they say there's nothing there, it's gonna give me some ammo.
Yeah.
Because when it comes back that there's nothing there, people don't go, well, you can't trust the FBI anyways. Well, wait a minute. Y'all been giving me FBI statistics for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. And those statistics, by the way, is totally off. Number one, they're outdated. All right. Number two, they're totally off because those are only going by how many cases they found to be false reports, and it's FBI anyway. Which how many rape allegations or sexual assault allegations does the FBI even investigate?
Yeah,
it shouldn't be very high.
And not only that. Look, they're using actual criminal statistics. Okay. All right. They don't talk about the thousands upon thousands and millions upon millions of false allegations that happen in the workplace just because some woman got mad.
Yep. And how about this? You got the workplace. You got, in other words, any of your private, where it's just handling it at the private level. But also, the only ones that would make it to the FBI or any, or even to your state level, are the ones where that false allegation actually went further. Majority of the time when it's found out that it's false allegation, it's dropped, which shouldn't be. It shouldn't work that way. If you file a false report, you should be prosecuted. It is illegal, by the way, people. It's happening a lot now. We had that mass outbreak of YouTube where all those people running for office and elected officials were being accused and all this. Majority of those were false allegations. And after it was found out it was false, it kind of just went away. It didn't go nowhere. Those there don't get reported as false allegations. It just goes away. The case is closed. Boom.
2001. Here it is, folks. Back in 2001, I was working for a company out of Greenville, Texas, okay? Our CEO come to us trying to tighten up the labor force a little bit. People were lingering back after the break bell and the lunch bell. They weren't coming back to their workstations on time. So he come to us and he said, "Hey, from now on, everybody must be at their workstation when that buzzer goes off. They can't be walking back from the restroom or the break room or anything else. They have to be at their workstation when that buzzer goes off." So we told the morning meeting, our morning line meeting, we informed them of the new company policy, and we left it at that. Well, a couple of days go by, two people, male and female, come walking back from the break room after the buzzer. I give them a verbal warning. I give them a verbal warning, and I said, "Look, if the supervisor catches you, I'm going to have to write you up." See, I already broke the rules by not writing them up. I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. Hey, don't do this again. Don't put me in this position. Then a few days go by. The same two, I get a call over the radio, says, "Hey, you got so and so coming back from break after the buzzer. Write them up." So I'll start walking back towards the break room. I see them. I wave them on, take them back.
We're going to go here shortly.
And I write them up, and next day she accuses me of sexual harassment.
And you guys can get that story up by getting with Travis on Facebook, because he does give that story. In fact, you call it the To Me movement, right? To Me.
Yep.
Yeah, if you check that out, Travis does give that story, and it does happen. False allegations happen a lot. Women are not gods, people. Women are not gods. They lie just like anyone else. If you want to check out any of our shows, we have wide range. We have a large. Shoot. Hold on. Check us out on PTAT, and Friday's our next show. My studio messed up.